Here's the thing, right? A lot of people want to change their life, but they don't want to change, or they don't want to take the risk. By that, I mean, I liquidated my last 1K from my teacher retirement, paid a mentor how to teach me how to wholesaling, and I made $15K 3 months later.
Wow.
For the people counting at home, that is 3/4 of my teacher's salary.
Well, I'm new.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm getting into real estate. I want to get some cash flowing, and I'm going to start wholesaling. How are we underwriting a deal?
So number one, if you want to underwrite a wholesale deal specifically.
Welcome to Black Wealth Weekly Podcast, where you can find different guests being interviewed by me, Shaniqua Nicole, the Millennial Money Maven, every single week, where we will be breaking down how they got into their respective industries and are creating wealth for their families. You don't want to miss an episode, so hit the bell and tune in. What's up, family? Dr. Shaniqua Nicole, the Millennial Money Maven. Welcome to this week's episode of Black Wealth Weekly, where I bring you the hottest entrepreneurs, investors, and CEOs to sit down and talk about the different ways they're building wealth so that you can find your way to wealth. And this week, there is no different. I have a good friend, my billionaire in the making friend. He is investing in real estate, changing lives all across the globe. Please welcome Marquis Robinson to the platform. What's going on, King? How you feeling today?
I can't complain. Number one, I want to thank you for letting me come on and speak to your audience. I definitely appreciate the opportunity for sure.
I appreciate you being here.
Let's make it happen, man. Let's get some money and let's dive into it. I'm excited.
Yes. So let's just jump right into it. Please let the people know who you are and what you do.
Okay, perfect. My name is Marquis Robinson. I've been in real estate 7 years now. Humble beginnings, to say the least. I started off as a teacher, making $2K a month. About 7 years ago, grew up in South Georgia for the most part. My mom had me at 15, so first college graduate, to say the least. Very, very interesting come up, to say the least, man. Yeah. I'm excited.
So you only been investing in real estate. What kind of real estate are you into? What you doing? You buying, flipping houses? What you doing?
Great question. So actually, it's been a trajectory, right? It's been a journey, to say the least. I started off wholesaling real estate, finding off market properties and selling them to buyers and making the profit in between.
Okay.
Right. The goal was to get liquid, because when you're making $2K a month, anything above that is, you know what I mean, exciting, or you're in the green. So I started doing that, and then I evolved into multifamily, where we buy multifamily assets, cash flow, and put tenants in there and give them a nice place to live.
So multifamily assets, is that like apartment buildings?
Yeah, small apartments, anywhere from maybe 10 to 40 units. That's typically where we like to play.
Okay.
And we have a few bigger deals we're working on as well.
That's crazy. So you went from, in 7 years, not knowing anything about real estate.
Correct.
You were a teacher. What kind of teacher? Was you teacher elementary, middle school?
I was teaching middle school, believe it or not. So that's probably why I have so many gray. That's probably why I have so many gray hairs, man. It really tested my patience, to say the least.
Yeah. So you went from being a teacher to buying an apartment building in little of 7 years, a little amount of time of 7 years.
Yes.
I say that because people think that real estate is so hard, even just purchasing their first home, right? So you went from making only $2,000 a month to owning apartment buildings. Take us through that journey.
For sure.
Of number one, your mindset, and then like, how did you get into apartment building investing? That's very impressive.
Thank you.
And I know for somebody like myself or our audience, it sounds like impossible. So tell us how you got into it, and what even opened your mind to the idea of buying apartments.
So I would say great question. Number one, I remember I was like a lot of people who are probably watching this right now. You go into work, you're like, man, something has to change. I'm not making enough money. I don't feel fulfillment, whatever that may be. I remember hearing a guy on the radio say, hey, if you don't have any credit or cash, my credit was terrible at the time, and you want to get in started in real estate, I have a strategy called wholesaling. Come to this one day seminar.
Okay.
And I was like, man, this is probably a scam. It was $97. So I took the money from one of my paychecks as a teacher, and I paid the $97. Now, here's the thing, right? That opened my eyes to wholesaling real estate, a strategy I knew nothing about.
Okay. Let's talk about wholesaling real estate. What is wholesaling real estate? You went to this webinar, or you went to this event.
Yeah, it was in person. Yep.
You went to this in-person event, and you learned about wholesaling. What is wholesaling real estate, and what did it do for you?
Great question. So wholesaling real estate is simply the art of finding off-market properties, deeply discounted off-market properties with equity.
Okay.
You typically want to reach out to a homeowner who's in pre-foreclosure, they're tax delinquent, bankruptcy, or maybe even someone going through a divorce, whatever the situation may be. These people will trade the equity in the property for speed and convenience. So, for example, you can go to DeKalb County Tax Assessor's website right now and pull a tax delinquent list. You can skip trace that list with being verified or white pages. These are typically free to maybe $20 a month websites. You can then get their phone number and make them an offer on the property $100K below this estimate.
Oh, wow.
At that point, if you get it that low, you can definitely resell it to a buyer. You can find one on Facebook. On a Facebook group, you can type in Atlanta Cash Buyers or Shark Tank or whatever. You can then sell it to them and make the money in between.
Got you. Wow. So you were literally creating money out of thin air.
For sure. Absolutely.
So like you got into real estate, but never bought any real estate. You didn't buy, you didn't have to buy the real estate.
Correct.
But you were making $100,000. Well, what's the spread look like? So you're finding properties that have at least $100,000 in equity.
For sure.
And then you're going to sell it for how much of like the value?
It depends on what the buyer wants to pay, of course, how much the property needs in repair. So it's a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
Full transparency. I was a teacher making $2K a month. So for the year, I made $24K. My first deal, I made $15K.
Wow.
After going to that $97 seminar, and then I paid another mentor. Here's the thing, right? A lot of people want to change their life, but they don't want to change. Or they don't want to take the risk. By that, I mean, I liquidated my last $1K from my teacher retirement, paid a mentor how to teach me how to wholesaling, and I made $15K 3 months later.
Wow.
For the people counting at home, that is 3/4 of my teacher's salary.
Wow.
So I bet on myself and went from there. But to answer your question, the spreads vary on the deals, right? You can make $25K, $50K. I've made up to $60K on the deal, right? And it just depends on how much equity is in the property and the amount of repairs that the property may need.
Got you. I mean, and probably your negotiation skills too,
Absolutely,
right? Like
for sure.
how cheap you can get the property for versus its value.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it.
And I think the strategy taught me this, going back to what you just said, how to underwrite deals and how to spot a deal. So I took that and I went into multifamily, and that's when I started to underwrite myself and know if it's a deal or not. Because let's be honest, a lot of these brokers, they're just trying to make some money. A lot of these brokers are trying to sell you a deal in free game. If it's on Crexy or LoopNet or something like that, it's probably not a deal. Because all the real players in your city, in your market, probably already saw the deal.
Yeah.
If it was a deal.
Right. So tell me how we underwriting a deal. I'm new.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm getting into real estate. I want to get some cash flowing. And I'm going to start wholesaling. How are we underwriting a deal?
So number one, if you want to underwrite a wholesale deal specifically, right, you want to see what the ARV is, the after repair value. You can look at the Zestimate on that, or you can pull the comps with a realtor. One website we use is propstream.com, and I can drop a 7-day free trial link below for your audience. That's no problem.
Perfect.
So typically what you want to do is say, okay, let's say the property's worth $300K. We want to multiply that times 70%. Okay. So for the people at home, let's put it on the screen. 300K times 70%.
Times 0.7 for those who are little mathematically inclined.
And that gives us what?
210,000.
So 210,000. Let's say the property needs $20K in work.
Okay, plus 20,000.
So we're gonna subtract 20K from that.
Okay.
So 210 minus 20K, that's 190.
190.
So let's say you want to make 25K on the deal. You subtract another 25K from that.
Okay.
So at this point, we're around
165.
So 165. So knowing that's the MAO, maximum allowable offer on that wholesale deal. Meaning, if you get it for 165, you could potentially make 25K on it. But here's the thing. I would probably make a lower offer of 150 so you can have room to negotiate, of course.
Absolutely.
Because just because you think it needs 20K in repairs, the buyer may say, I think it needs 30. Maybe even 40.
Right.
So that cuts into your profit. So I would probably offer 150 and then negotiate your way from there.
Yeah.
The goal is to make 10 to 20K per deal so you can make some more moves.
Right. I love it. I love it. And if you get it at 150, you make 40,000 profit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you did no work to the property. You used none of your credit. But most importantly, the way we're doing it with AI agents who make the follow-up calls and the SMS for you, right? We'll text you with an AI agent.
Wow.
But last but not least, we're putting the properties on the market, and I'm doing this virtually in DFW, North Carolina, and of course the Metro Atlanta market.
Got you. So you can wholesale properties in any state.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need a license?
No license needed, no.
No money needed.
In most states, you don't need a license. Some you do. I want to be very, very clear. Some states you may need one.
Okay. So you can make money off selling real estate without having a license and without having money.
Correct.
And in any state that you can find, most states that you can find good deals.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Are there better states,
sure.
more friendly states, or, what are some markets that are hot now?
Great. That's a great question.
Especially being where the market is going.
That's a great question. So what we teach people in my community to do is reverse engineer the deal.
Okay.
Meaning we want to know where the real players are, where the real buyers are, who going to pay a premium for the asset, right? So that being said, I would say stay in the Sun Belt, meaning Dallas-Fort Worth is my number one market. It's a very, very large market. Atlanta is number 2 for me, and then Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. So anything in the South is very, very good because what we do is we reverse engineer and sell to hedge funds, right? You can go on LinkedIn right now and type in Tiber Capital Group, right? That's one of the hedge funds we sell to. And I'm just giving you guys free game because I'm on here with my family. We family at this point, right?
Y'all know we like free game.
Come on, man. So you can type in Tiber Capital Group, or you can type in another one called Home Investors, right? Type these people in on your LinkedIn and then reach out to someone in their acquisitions department.
Okay.
You're disposing the deal. You're selling it to them, right? These are hedge funds off of Wall Street. They've raised money and they need to deploy money into single family assets because their business model is to buy as many single family assets as possible, right? Raise the rent after they renovate, and then they want to go and get a portfolio loan or possibly refinance, as you know, with a package deal. So reach out to someone in their acquisition department on LinkedIn. One of them is Home Investors. Another one is Tiber Capital Group, and say, hey, my name is Marquis. I'm a local real estate investor. I know you guys are buying properties in this area. I specialize in finding deeply discounted single family assets with equity. Would you be interested in learning more about these opportunities?
Right.
Keyword, deeply distressed, opportunity, equity, and last but not least, I am good in this market and I know exactly where you buy.
I love it. I love it. Wow, that's amazing. I actually have my real estate license.
Okay.
Right. And I didn't know that. I thought you had to have your real estate license to make money in real estate or be like an investor.
Right.
So I love that people can go into this market and make money with not, really just, it sounds like just some knowledge, right?
Sure,
you went to your first master class, you learned, and you went into action. Now you're investing in apartments.
Absolutely.
So what did that switch look like for you?
Completely different ballgame, right?
Okay.
So here's the thing, right? Wholesaling is more so about you closing deals. You're really looking to get liquid, right? You probably want to escape where you are now if you have some financial issues, or you may have a good job and just want to make extra money, right? With multifamily, it has to go from me to we, right? It has to go to you looking to make an impact and truly, truly want to do something special, because here's the thing. I want to be very, very transparent. Multifamily is a business. Okay, this is not, I buy the apartment, I take some cute pictures on Instagram and, hey, look at me, I'm the guy. No, this is a business, meaning you have 30, like for example, with our 31 unit asset, right?
Yeah.
We bought it for $3.5 million, ARV is $6.3 million. That being said, I'm responsible, so the numbers look great, right?
Yeah, sounds.
But here's the thing, I'm responsible for 31 families on a day-to-day basis, meaning that's 31 families who need central air and heat, a safe place to live, a clean place to live, but most importantly, if something breaks, you have to fix it.
Yeah.
So this is a business if you're looking to get into multifamily. That's why I recommend starting off with wholesaling, where you can get liquid, learn how to underwrite, and find your own deals.
Yeah.
So you can cut the brokers out and save some money and give those points to a lender if you need to.
Right. Got you. I love it. So you purchased a $3 million property.
Yeah, yep.
And you're saying we. So what does that look like?
For sure.
Who is we? And then like how, if somebody wanted to, maybe stop buying one property at a time and go into a bigger asset, what kind of money should they have? What kind of partners do they need?
Okay.
And what does that team structure look like?
Great question. So let's back up a bit, right? My personal opinion is this, and again, I'm not trying to be Mr. Guru, but if you're going to get into buying properties to cash flow, why not buy one building with 10 tenants?
Yeah.
And get one loan as opposed to getting one property. Now you have a job. That's the part a lot of real estate investors don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
If you have 1 to 2 properties at this point, it's a job.
Yeah.
Because it's not enough cash flow to pay a property manager to go out there and do it.
No.
More than likely, you're probably going to get frustrated with a property manager and say, I'll just do it.
Right.
Now you've kind of gone against what we're looking to do with being investors.
Passive income.
Right. We want the passive income, but now you've created a job. So back to what you were saying, the structure, right? Typically, you want to put about 25, maybe even 30% down, depending on the loan structure with these assets, right? Also, you want to raise the capital from private investors. What we teach in our community is how to raise money and get very, very liquid with wholesaling and, of course, get business funding. So at that point, you're very, very liquid because, again, this is a business. It's not if something is going to go wrong. It's definitely when something is going to go wrong. You're lying to yourself if you think you're going to buy a multifamily asset and nothing's going to break.
Yeah.
The day you buy it, the roof may cave in.
Yeah.
Right? The day you buy it, and I'm just being honest because I've been through it, as you can see with these gray hairs, right?
Oh my gosh, please.
I'm just being honest, guys. Here's the thing, though. You need to make sure you're liquid enough, right, to have reserves. Number 2, your team. Property management needs to be key. A very, very good property manager can make the business, but a bad property manager can break the business, because this is going to be pretty much the people on the front line communicating with the tenants and letting them know, hey, we're going to fix this. Hey, you're late on rent. Hey, these are the next steps with the move-in. They're going to be doing showings as well.
Yeah.
I would say a GC, a general contractor, someone who knows what they're doing, but specifically, right, someone who has worked in the multifamily space before.
Okay.
They understand unit turns, okay? This is our budget per unit.
Yep.
This is how we want every unit to look. This is how it should look when we get ready to put it out to the public to rent it out, right?
Yep.
And then last but not least, certainly not least, are the investors, right? Talking about terms and structuring a deal. Typically, with a multifamily deal, you have private investors come in as LPs, limited partners, right? So what you will do is you'll use their capital to take the property down, but your team as the GP, general partnership, would operate the building on a day-to-day basis, right? If a tenant needs to be evicted, your team would be doing that, not your limited partners.
Yep.
But you will report to them weekly and monthly or whatever you set up,
Okay.
right, with updates on the property. Right. And then last but not least, you'll send out quarterly returns from the cash flow once the property starts making money.
Gotcha. So if I was somebody that I'm like, I want to get into investing real estate, I have like $30,000-$50,000.
Okay.
I don't know anything about it. I want to work with a professional and I want to become a limited partner. I put my money up. What does that look like for me as a limited partner?
So I would say number one, you want to do your research on the operator. The person who you're going to be investing money with, what's their reputation? Do they have experience with this? Is this their first deal?
Yeah.
What is the exit strategy? Number two, how am I going to get my money back? Are you going to refinance on the asset, pull money out and pay me that way? Or are you going to sell the asset after 2 to 3 years, which is typically what a lot of multifamily operators do? And then last but not least, do your research and due diligence, right, on the asset itself and the neighborhood that it's in. What jobs are coming? What's the crime rate over here? What's the rent in this area? Does it really, really make sense? And last but not least, and certainly not least, do you have the risk tolerance to put your money into this asset and wait 2-3 years? Or dare I say, possibly lose money if the deal goes left?
Right.
Because again, this is an investment, but at the end of the day, it is a risk.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I tell people all the time, any investment that you make, there's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
50% chance that you can win, 50% chance you can lose or
Absolutely.
learn, right? Depending on how you look at it. Okay, cool. So I have 50,000. I can come and partner with somebody like Robinson Capital Group. And now I'm a limited partner
Right.
in an apartment building. Okay, cool. What does that look like from a tax perspective? Do your investors get the tax benefits of being real estate investors?
Absolutely. If they come in as an LP, they do get the tax benefits of being real estate investors. Typically, we'll pay out quarterly. Reason being, we want to give it a couple months for us to stabilize the asset. Because again, I want to be honest, this is a business.
Yes.
We will be evicting people. We will be moving new people in and things like that. So we want to set the proper expectation that you will not be getting paid out monthly. You'll be getting paid out quarterly. And then our team will send you the documents that you need to file your taxes.
Got you. I love it. I love it. I love it. So now, let's talk about Robinson Capital Group.
For sure.
Right. Let's talk about Robinson Capital Group. What's some of your goals? Like, what are you looking to do? You went from, I would say you just skyrocketed, which congratulations and kudos to you for taking the risk.
I appreciate it.
Listen, I tried real estate myself.
Yeah.
I bought my first property. Everything was great. Got my property manager in place. Held the property for like 4 years. Never seen it to this day. Collected rent for 3 years.
Wow.
Bought it, sold it. I never even been in it.
Wow. Okay.
Because I had such a good property manager. Right? Now, my second go round, when I bought my second property, I was like, I had a mentor say, go bigger, faster. Right? And the meaning behind that was you're going to do the same work that you're going to do on a single family that you're going to do on a multifamily.
Right.
So go bigger, faster. So I went bigger. I blew the budget. It blew me out the water. And I'm still emotionally recovering.
Right. Okay. Little bit of PTSD.
Let me tell you, I got some PTSD. So when we're coming into this game as real estate investors, I guess give us a couple tips on how we can be astute investors and not just, throwing our money at the wall.
Absolutely. So number one, you want to do due diligence on if you're getting a mentor, are they actively doing deals? Who have they helped? Like what are their core values? Do the core values align? That's something that's very, very big to me. Number two, I would say this: due diligence, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm very, very serious. Due diligence on the property, but also some due diligence on yourself, right? Meaning, do you understand exactly what you're getting to, right? This is not I tell everyone in my community, even people in my personal network, this is not a get rich quick scheme, right? This is a get wealthy for sure thing, meaning we're trying to play the long game here. So I want you guys to think about it like this. Wholesaling is a short game. Let's get very, very liquid, make some money, pay off bad debt, right? Also fix your credit if you need to, right? We all have been there. That's how I started. And then from there, let's take this money, get funding. So now you're liquid, you paid off bad debt. And then last but not least, now let's get into multifamily.
Yeah.
Which is the long-term game. This is to build your wealth and increase your net worth.
Yeah.
Wholesaling is short-term money, quick checks, 10, 20K.
Right.
Right? And that's why I keep wholesaling.
Right.
To stay liquid.
So you still wholesale today?
Yeah, we still wholesale to this day. We still wholesale. So that's how I stay liquid. But I understand being in the business and educating myself over and over and consistently, right? Investing in mentors is multifamily is a long-term game.
Yeah. So if you had to start over today,
okay,
what would business look like for you? Like, you know, would you go the same route that you started? What would that look like?
So I'm a little bit crazy. I'm different from most people. I truly believe that. I jumped off the porch, as they would say, right?
No, you really did.
I quit my job right after I closed my first deal.
Okay.
So I made $15K, $5K went to paying bills that I skipped out on. I don't recommend that. The other $5 went to investing back in the business, and I put a little $5 back for me for mental health reasons, meaning I need to make sure I have something in my account this time.
Right.
But to go back to what you were saying, I would probably say this. I would be more aggressive, to be honest with you. I would invest more. I would call more people. But most importantly, I would put systems in place earlier on. By that, I mean, I tell everybody the same thing. My favorite restaurant is Chick-fil-A. I use this example all the time. When you go to Chick-fil-A, you pull up, right? It's the same thing. Hey, welcome back. What do you want? You want chicken nuggets or chicken strips? Give me strips. You want Polynesian or ranch? Ranch. Okay, great. Lemonade, what do you want? Give me some lemonade. Okay, great. You pay. You go to the next line, get the food and go, right?
Yeah.
With my business on the wholesaling side, it's the same exact thing. And on the multifamily side as well, right? Specifically with wholesaling, right? We reach out to the sellers who are distressed, pre-foreclosure, whatever it may be, with cold callers and AI agents. Then it comes over to my lead managers. They qualify you again to make sure you actually want to sell the property. Next, it goes over to my closers. These are guys who sold cars, gym memberships, legitimate sales guys. From there, it's going to go over to my operations manager. She's going to draw up contracts and send it over to the title company and make sure we close and get paid.
Gotcha.
Last but not least, it goes over to my dispo manager. He's going to sell the deal to an investor and make a profit on it for the company.
Gotcha.
So again, we have created a conveyor belt, so to speak, but most importantly, systems and processes to help us do $300K a month and do deals in multiple markets.
Wow.
So again, if I had to start over, I would go even harder than I'm doing right now. But most importantly, I would put systems in place so I can remove myself. So now I can spend time speaking to you in the middle of the day like I'm doing right now.
Got you. Wow. $300K a month.
Yeah.
Wholesaling?
In multiple markets. Again, we're in 3 markets and we're putting a lot of money in marketing also.
Wait a minute now. I think I'm in the wrong business.
I got you. I got you on your computer. Again, with the systems and processes in place, this is very, very attainable.
So you're doing 300. So what does that look like? Let's just say, walk me through
For sure.
somebody coming into real estate and then growing into a $3 million empire. What does that look like? I know you said processes, but if I'm wholesaling on day one, what am I doing when I'm sitting down to actually find these deals?
Okay, so number one, you are pulling a list from the county website, as I said before.
Yeah.
But you're banging out the phone, calling as many people as possible and asking them, do they want to sell the property below market value?
Yeah.
That's how you start off. Then you make some money and close a couple of deals. Now you have to reinvest in yourself. Number one, pay a mentor to get you to the next level. For example, I pay, and here's the trajectory, guys, and I'm just being very transparent, right? I'm a firm believer in betting on yourself and investing on yourself. Because here's the thing. If you give that job or that employer permission to feed you, you will give them permission to starve you as well. By that, I mean, they can let you go at any point in time. So why not get in wholesaling real estate or something that's going to bring you money to put some money to the side just in case something goes left? Again, if you give them permission to feed you, you give them permission to starve you as well. So my point is this, right? Once you start closing deals, you need to reinvest. I paid $97 to go to that first seminar just to open my eyes to real estate, right?
Right.
I paid the next guy $997 from my teacher retirement fund.
So you cashed out your retirement.
I cashed out retirement to pay this guy, right? He taught me how to do wholesale deals. I made $15K. I paid my next mentor in Dallas, Texas, $5K, And that's not including flight and hotel.
Right.
And I flew to Dallas, Texas. This guy said, hey, in order for you to get to the next level, you have to evolve from me to we and build a legitimate company and bring people in where their vision can fit inside of your vision. So from there, from 5K, that's when I started making millions of dollars wholesaling real estate.
Right.
Because he was like, you can't take all the calls. It's impossible.
Yeah.
You need to hire sales guys and give them a commission. And then you need to pay your people as well along the way.
That's
but most
so
importantly,
good.
You need to hire a A1 operations person because it goes from not how, but who. Who do you need to hire to make sure your business runs the right way? So for now, I have an operations manager, pretty much the CEO of the company, who understands everything, and I have sales guys who I don't have to micromanage. And we just go from there.
Yeah.
Put the money in marketing, and it goes through the conveyor belt over and over.
Listen, you said something that is so profound. The CEO of your company.
Absolutely.
So you own the company.
Absolutely.
And you hire the CEO.
Yeah, think about it this way.
Talk to me about
think
the
about
mindset.
it this way, right? And I thought about something, right? When you go to Chick-fil-A, more than likely the owner is not in there making fries and putting salt on fries.
Absolutely
or if
not.
you go to Publix, the owner of Publix, they're not in there bagging groceries.
Right.
They're somewhere on the island, or they're probably in the boardroom looking at the numbers.
Yeah.
How many vegetables did we sell today? What can we do to close this store and open up another store in this area? Because we've done the market research, and we do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? We understand. And here's some game as well if you're looking to get a wholesaling. Here's our rule of thumb, right? What I want you to do right now, whatever market you're looking to get in, for example, DFW is one of my top markets. I type a market in, the median home value on Zillow in that market, and our goal as a company is to hit 10% of that. So now I know I reverse engineer. Memphis probably may not work for me because.
So what do you mean by that? So like you type the market in and you see what?
I see the median home value.
Okay.
So if I know the median sales price of homes in this area is $350,
right,
my goal is to go over there and make 10% of that as a company on each deal.
Gotcha.
So when I'm saying I'm making $300K a month, that's only 10 deals a month.
Now you know how many deals you need.
So that's about 3 per market. You see what I'm saying? But in a market like Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm not saying you can't do deals there. The value is a little bit lower. It's lower. So why would I go there and put a lot of money in marketing if it doesn't make sense numbers wise?
Gotcha.
So that's why you notice I'm in Raleigh, Durham.
Yeah.
350 or higher.
Right.
Metro Atlanta, you already know. And then DFW is a great market as well.
Yeah.
So we're very, very strategic, but most importantly, we reverse engineer and we know the hedge funds are over there.
Yeah.
The people on LinkedIn, and we know the A1 buyers are over there. And these are desirable markets as well.
Right.
So think about it, right? I go in markets where they have at least an NFL, NBA, or some type of professional sports team.
Okay.
Because if $1 billion company is coming to this market, who am I not to invest there and do some deals and get some money also?
There you go.
So that's my thought process.
Yeah, I love it. Wow. So that is very impressive, right? Very impressive, I'll say, especially only being in business for 7 years. Growing a multi-million-dollar portfolio, growing a multi-million-dollar company. Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Did you come from a family that was entrepreneurs, real estate investors? Like, what was your upbringing? You know, is this something that you just woke up one day and said, I'm going to do real estate? You know, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur and start investing?
I would say for me, in a lot of things most people go through, right? I think the trauma growing up, to be, if I'm being transparent, like money was always an issue in the household. Not that we were broke on Section 8 and no, it's no story like I'm a rapper. I'm not Meek Mill or anybody. But you get what I'm saying, right? We weren't rich, but money was always an issue to the point where my mom was like, okay, we can't do this because it costs too much, right? We can't go here because it costs too much. I got tired of hearing that.
Yeah. So
I made a promise to myself, if I ever get the opportunity, I'm gonna make a lot of money so I can enjoy life, right? I believe in, I call it FU money, right? I call it FU money because you can do whatever the F you want to do, right? You can eat wherever the F you want to eat at,
right?
Put your kids in whatever freaking school district you want to put them in also, right? You can drive whatever the F you want to drive, and last but not least, you can really live the life that's gonna fulfill you, right?
Yeah.
So back to what you were saying, not necessarily a terrible upbringing. My mom did a great job. I was the first college graduate in my family. My brother has a degree. My sister is in Charlotte. She's about to graduate soon. She did an amazing job, but I noticed the common denominator was lack of money. So when you have lack of money, you think in scarcity, right? And so for me, anybody in my community or watching this, I want you to get out of survival mode.
Yeah.
Survival mode, if you haven't made 100K or you don't have 100K, anything above that, I truly believe you're out of survival mode.
Okay.
Because you could take 25K, pay off bad debt, reinvest another 25, put 50 to the side, or invest in multifamily, like you said earlier,
and cash
and go from there.
Yeah.
So I think for me, very, very good upbringing to say the least. But I think I was always different. I remember when I would get in trouble, my mom would make me read Black Enterprise magazine. So when you told me about your magazine, that's what caught my attention, and it really kind of hit home for me because
I love that.
she was like, you could be so great, but you got to stop getting in trouble.
Wow.
I didn't get in trouble for necessarily being bad. I got in trouble for talking back, or I got bored in school because I truly didn't feel like YX plus B would make me money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they should have been teaching me finance, credit, things that we talk about on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So for me, I remember my mom having me read Black Wealth magazine, not Black Wealth, but Black Enterprise, Black Enterprise, and I had to do a 1-page essay on it.
Wow.
And I would have to submit that to my mom, but I started seeing Black people making good money,
right?
Doctors and lawyers. I'm like, man, there's so much more out here.
Exposure is everything.
So, yeah.
Exposure is everything. Wow, I love that. I love that. Well, given that, do you have children?
Not at all. Not right now.
Not yet.
I'm married to the business.
Married to the game. I hear you.
But that's probably why, because I work so much.
Got you. So you don't have children. No. What does legacy look like for you in this next phase of your journey?
Great question. I think legacy. So number one, Robinson Capital Group, our motto is adding value to communities one building at a time. So that's part of our legacy right there. Number two, putting my family in a position where money won't be an issue. They can take the baton, if you will, and start and keep running with it. But most importantly, leave things better than how I found it. Meaning, not necessarily from a financial standpoint, but I want to educate my kids on money where they're comfortable with money.
Yeah.
Meaning they understand money, they understand investing. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not so attached to it the way our upbringing was. Well, I know mine specifically was. Right. You know what I mean? Like money control things instead of you being in control of the money and understanding that it's just a tool to possibly make you more money. Absolutely. So I would definitely say that. And last but not least, make an impact in the community, show Black and brown kids that, hey, you don't have to be a rapper to make money, sell drugs, or be an entertainer. You can get in real estate and really, really make some real paper, but most importantly, get free, build a system, and build a business.
I love it. That's beautiful.
Yo, what's going on, family? Marquis Robinson here from Robinson Capital Group. Listen, I want to invite you all to our 5-day live masterclass where we're going to be giving you all the sauce. I'm talking about wholesaling real estate on day one. Number two, how to implement the AI agents in our platform to help you close deals, follow up, but most importantly, make some money. Number three, we're going to go over our secret sauce on how to make money on foreclosed homes. Yes, you can still make money on a home that was foreclosed on months ago, even years ago. Last but not least, I'm going to bring in some partners to teach you guys how to get some business funding. That's right. Use the bank's money. And last but not least, my favorite part, buy a multifamily asset, cash flow, and potentially, if you do things right and you listen and lock in with us, refinance, pull out some tax-free money. So again, back to the episode, man. I can't wait to see you guys on the other side. Let's bet on yourself. Let's make moves. Back to the episode. Let's go.
And I think it's so important that we teach our kids or we show our kids, right, what's possible.
For sure.
So that's literally the main reason that I started this podcast, that I started this media company, is because we need to see people. And, these days we got to meet people where they are, right? Kids are on YouTube. We're on YouTube.
Exactly.
With these stories of how you about to be a billionaire.
One day, right? Hey, speaking into existence.
And, but literally starting from being a teacher. Right. Right? Super humble beginnings. But just had that spark from childhood. So I love that. And what I'm doing with my son, actually, this is his book right here, ABCs for Rich Kids, is exactly what you said. Number one, exposing him to mentors and entrepreneurs like yourself. I bring him into, whenever I'm in a mentorship, I bring him around. And so normally the guys will, kind of just get on him. Well, what's your goal? How much you want to make? Right. Okay, well, if you want to make $300, how many books you need to sell?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so what I also reinforce with him is, if you want to buy something, like he wanted to buy the PlayStation. I think it might have been $600. So I said, okay, well, if you want to buy a PlayStation, you also need to buy the PlayStation stock, because you're not only going to be a consumer, you need to also be an investor. I like it. Right? Now, I do want him to invest in real estate, but he wants to play football. So, not but, right? At the end of the day, you're going to do both. Right. You're going to do both. Right. And, hopefully be blessed enough to have friends like I have. So make sure you guys are putting yourself and putting your children in environments where you can learn and where they can learn as well. So I love that. I love that your mom gave you the magazine and made you do a book report from it. That's that really changed my life, because I started to be exposed to different things. Like, man, everybody's not struggling, right? A lot of people know their mom and they know their dad and their parents been married. So for me, I'm always grateful for that. Yeah.
Even so, I took some of the wholesale money and bought her a home.
Oh, nice.
And again, that's just me showing my appreciation. But again,
that's legacy.
That's the benefit of doing this, right? You
breaking
make
generational
sacrifice
curses.
now. You know what I mean? One of my mentors told me this: weeks of sacrifice for a lifetime in paradise. Paradise may mean whatever to you, but sacrifice now. Again, we have 6 months left in the year.
Yeah.
Lock in for the next 6 months, and your life will be completely different in 2026, or it'll be the same if you don't change.
Got you. I love it. Awesome. So talk to yourself. Let's say, how old are you? How old are you now?
35 now.
35. Talk to yourself. Tell me what would you say to yourself when you were 20 years old? Where were you in life at 20? What were you doing? And how do you feel about where you are today, 15 years later?
So great question. So I would say at 20, number one, focus so you can go ahead and graduate on time. I was like a super senior, just being honest. Everything is going to work out. Number one, have faith. But most importantly, man, focus on making your family proud and be a leader. Like, don't get caught up in the party scene. Don't get caught up in what your friends are looking to do. Focus on what you need to do and really, really lock in with your goals. Because truth, and I'm just being transparent, I originally didn't want to be a teacher. I did it because a few of my friends wanted to be football coaches and things like that. But my heart was always in business. So I was a business major, but I changed my major because that's what my friends decided to do. But in reality, I always wanted to be a business guy.
Yeah.
But it's coming full circle now, right?
Right.
So to answer that question, I would probably say that lock in and focus and do exactly what you said you were going to do and be a leader. That's the biggest thing.
Awesome. So single, successful, you don't have time to date.
I'm focused on the business right now.
Are you dating?
Yeah, I'm
focused on the business.
I'm focused on the business.
I always ask.
That's my
always
answer.
ask because there's a lot of single successful women out there and they wouldn't know how they can get a single successful man like yourself.
Yeah.
So are you looking? You on the market? What are you looking for when it comes to love
question.
and legacy?
Great question. I was not expecting this, by the way. But to answer the question, for me, I'm more so looking for teammate and partner. Right? I think it's a term that people know what the word, they know the word, they hear the word, they understand it, but I don't think a lot of people understand teammate and partnership. To me, it's someone who's willing to sacrifice with me, right? But also looking to help me grow as an individual, business-wise, and of course, personally as well, but also give me the opportunity to pour into them and help them grow as well. Yeah. So I think for me, that's what I'm looking for, teammate and partnership. But to be very, very transparent, I'm 100% focused on the business. Yeah. My goal is $1 million in a month. And that's really what my focus is. So I'm married to the real estate right now. That's my main focus.
$1 million a month.
Yes.
That sounds crazy.
But again, me making $15K a month, me making $15K on one wholesale deal 7 years ago sounded crazy too. Right. So again, the more you know, the more you grow. Right. Right. If you stop learning, you stop earning. So I've invested in a mentor to teach me how to make $1 million in a month. Okay. I watched them do it. So my time is definitely coming for sure. I just need to lock in and focus on the business and not the women. Listen, and everything's gonna work out.
We be in our rooms. Let's give $1 million worth of game to people right now.
Okay, perfect.
Talk to me about what your $1 million month looks like.
Okay. Absolutely. So part of it will be definitely putting our 5-day live mentorship together. Right. Well, we're going to educate people 5 days straight. And then at the end, we're going to give you guys the opportunity to potentially work with me, my lenders, my real estate team, my property management team, and of course, my network as well. So we want to work with you guys there, but also $300K from wholesaling. Right. So that cuts into some of it as well. And then again, I have another business as well where I make money on foreclosed homes. Okay. So with that right there, we're looking to probably do another $100 to $200K from that. Mm-hmm. We're already halfway there and everything else will take care of itself.
Got you. So you're looking to do 500 digital.
500 digital and then the other 500 with the other two businesses.
That's done. It's already done.
Absolutely. So it's going to work out. I wrote it down, broke the numbers down, preached it to my team this morning, and I'm going to preach it again at 5 o'clock. Like I need the damn deals closed so I can make my $1 million month. Because here's the thing, right? For me, yes is an ego thing for me personally because I want to prove it to myself. But most importantly, once we get super liquid like that, we can really make even more moves, right? I want to get into some land. I want to do some developments as well. Mm-hmm. So even some more moves, but most importantly, get in bigger and better rooms as well. Right. Like get in some of these rooms where people are making billions of dollars. Hello. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then invest in something like that. So it's all a setup for the long-term game for sure. But at the end of the day, I mean, it started with me wholesaling real estate. Yeah. The basics. Paying a mentor to teach me the game and the sauce and go from there.
And you know what's so good is I love this energy because right now the coaching landscape has shifted and changed and it's transformed over the last 5 years from what we've known it since COVID. But people are looking and they're wondering, well, how these people still winning? You know, how are these people still growing? How are these people still hitting $1 million months, $500,000 months and stuff like that? And I mean, you answer that, right? Literally, the more money and capital you have, the more you can invest.
Correct.
The more visibility you're going to have, and the more impact you can make.
Absolutely.
Right. So I think that's the key. So I love that. Now, before we go, if you have any final words of wisdom, or what do you have coming up? Like what can we expect from you coming
so
up?
I will say this again, and I said it earlier, right? If you give them permission to feed you, you will give them permission to starve you as well. At some point, you got to bet on yourself, right? Everyone has a gift. You just need to figure out what that gift is and figure out a way how you can monetize it and make money. I believe everyone should have some type of high income producing skill. Wholesaling, selling a course, or trading stock, whatever it is that you can do in your spare time, you got to sacrifice, man.
Yep.
Right? My life changed when I stopped going to brunch. Right? When I stopped going to every event, listening to the radio, I knew about every event. When I cut all the fun off and locked in on being a better version of me, looking in the mirror and holding myself accountable, that's when I really, really started making money. But to answer your question, what we have coming up, we do have our 5-day live mentorship. You can go to www.multifamilywealthclass.com. That's www.multifamilywealthclass.com. See you guys on the other side. It's going to be 5 days of live mentorship. Day 1, we're going to talk about wholesaling real estate, how you can find these deals. Like I told you, make money. Day 2, I'm going to show you how to implement the AI agents so they can do the follow-up and the calls for you. Because I know somebody's watching this right now like, Keith, I like what you're talking about, bro. I have a job. I have kids. My son is playing football. I can't call all these people. I have the solution for you. Number 3, I'm going to show you my secret sauce on how to make money on foreclosed homes as well. Okay. Basically, what happens is if someone loses their property at the foreclosure auction, you can call them and help them recover the money. Meaning you can still make another 25, 30K on the back end, even if they lost the property to a foreclosure auction.
Oh, wow.
And again, this information is on your county website as well. Yeah. It's called Excess Funds. I'm going to show you that sauce as well. Number 4, I'm going to bring in one of my mentors, one of the people in my network, to show you guys how to get business funding. Because the game plan is this: get liquid, make as much money as possible, pay off bad debt, fix credit. Let's go use the bank's money. Yep. And from there, you know what's coming next, right? It's time to invest in multifamily and get wealthy. Start off with you a small multifamily asset. I'm going to bring in a doctor, aka a lender, possibly, to show you guys how to refinance, take out some potentially tax-free money, rinse and repeat, run the play over and over and over, and now you are wealthy. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. So we're looking to make an impact, guys. If you want to be a part of it, catch me at www.multifamilywealthclass.com and on Instagram or any social media at wealth__forever.
I love it. Awesome. Well, Marquis, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you for dropping all this wisdom, being super open about your goals, because it's important for little Black boys to go on YouTube where they see all, the news about Black men, and see somebody that looks like you, that came from making $2,000 a month to making over $300,000 a month with goals of $1 million a month. These numbers are just unheard of. So I'm honored to have you here. I appreciate you for sharing your wisdom with the platform. You guys, make sure you go and follow Marquis at wealth__forever. Be sure to follow me, Shaniqua Nicole, the Millennial Money Maven, at Money Maven Club on Instagram. And if you know anyone that's looking to invest in real estate, please share this episode with them, because he dropped $1 million worth of game. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yes,
Peace.
Sir.